I got it! Wow!
Introducing the G.I. Joe USS Flagg aircraft carrier.
Sky Striker landing!
It's big, tough, and built to carry all the planes, men, and equipment Joe needs to go into battle against Cobra.
Cobra jet!
Some assembly required.
Feel the jet! Man on battle station! Where's the Admiral? He's at the wheel! Launch aircraft! Fire! We start Cobra!
G.I. Joe USS Flagg aircraft carrier comes with what you see here. Other figures and equipment sold separately from Hasbro.
Hey, it's Wednesday. We're on Beyond Wednesdays, San Diego Comic-Con Eve, I guess. We have a few people joining in with us in chat. We have Miguel H. We went live just for you because you said, am I the only one here? No, you weren't. We were backstage waiting to see if more people joined. GT Key jumping in. Hartman, what's going on? And GT Key with 2 thumbs up. Did you know thumbs ups are now legally binding?
What does that mean?
Like if you text emoji, like the thumbs up, like someone says like, hey, can you make it to work? And then you text a thumbs up and then you don't make it to work, then
we can hold you accountable.
You can be held accountable for
right, because that's has the universal like okay, right?
Yeah, like thumbs up mean that you're in agreement.
Like when they're taking you off the field and they're making sure you're not paralyzed and shit.
You're like, are you okay, sir?
Oh man.
But yeah, Bryan may or may not join us tonight. Hopefully he does, because I have to do a work thing in 45 minutes, or if anyone else joins us, so that'd be really great. So if you're watching,
do for work,
I have to do a maintenance upgrade where I'm upgrading a switch, and then I'm pushing a certificate to that switch so it stops rebooting on its own.
I hate to be an asshole, dude, but like, why didn't you do that shit earlier?
Because it takes down the entire building, or that portion of the building, so it interrupts services, and I can't do that during business hours. So I have to do it off hours.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I was like, honestly, I wanted to do it at 6:00 so I wouldn't have to worry about it tonight. And then my boss was like, do it at 10 p.m. I was like, damn it.
Damn, dude.
I was
going to go. Hey, check it out.
So no drama today. Oh, nice. Your X-Men 2, fresh from the Redhood press. That looks like a different book.
Yeah.
Are you sure you didn't rob that from someone?
I robbed it from Half Price Books. Number 2. Oh man, it's pretty too, dude. Oh my god.
Nice.
I saved it. It was like a homeless comic, and I took it home and I fed it. I tucked it in.
Brian's Comic Garage. I'm not the IT guy that F's everything up. I'm the guy that you call when your internet's not working on your computer in your office. That's my job.
That's what I'm saying. When you go hunting, bro, and you find an X-Men 2 for $150,
which, yeah, and then you sent me that picture of that one that was like in poor condition, like where it was like like at best a 1.5, maybe a 2. Then that sold for like way more than what you paid for your copy. I was like, that was crazy. Is it plugged in? Is the monitor plugged in? You'd be surprised how often that actually happens. But yeah, before we get going here, let's kind of keep the tradition of what Bryan does for the show, and we will review this Saturday's comments, which I'm going to share it on the screen. All right, Television wrote, thanks for the shout out, guys, and showing off our con exclusives. Yes, we will be there. Bringing up great points regarding AI. I like the idea of a discussion between AI artists and AI skeptics, transitioning from the AI talk to the Psylocke colored pencil piece, though. I mean, nothing will ever replace hand drawn work. I appreciate now more so than ever. Keep dropping the funk gang. All right, Birds and the Bees. That's effing genius. Props to Bird City and Hive. I just didn't want to cuss within too early in the show. So thank you, Blood Sausage. Funhouse Comics writes, the big guy with the tattoo, his name is Big Chris. I ran into him last week. Also, my Walmart in South Florida. Me and the guy who shot the video, Deegan Rips, actually followed him back into the back with the cart that still had select blasters and megas that he didn't put out. And we got the manager on duty, and he went in the back and brought us out one apiece for the 4 people waiting. I tried to go back there, but we'll stop by the produce guy. Yep, that's all in my area. This guy has been braiding the targets and Walmart's for me for years. I've been able to only buy 3 Target Optic and 2 Target and 1 Walmart Select. Oh, when they were talking about the card review stuff. So I missed the pre-sesh and I wanted to hear the music that was on McClay's list. Big Daddy Kane, Ain't No Half Steppin'. That's how you start a show. And then later to drop Faux Live from Mac 10 was just icing on the cake. And as a reminder, if you're in the Discord, Bryan has a link to his Spotify playlist. So if you're ever interested in catching some of the tunes that he's adding for the pre-show stuff, I didn't do that today because I'm not fancy with the OBS stuff. I second Nate. Barry Sanders is the GOAT. All Emmett Smith had to do was run straight through the enormous gap his line created.
Whatever.
That was from Volsey, so you and Volsey can argue about that.
Yeah, if that line was so great, why did Troy Aikman have so many concussions,
Nice AI, use it as reference material, alike photos. Heart emojis, thank you so much. Can't get nothing by Hood. Who owns the AI images? What's the point of this video? So it's to just have a discussion of create that Discord, right? But yeah,
whatever. All right.
So that's the show. Thank you everyone for joining.
Hey, did you see Secret Invasion today, dude?
I haven't watched Secret Invasion yet.
Don't.
I thought there was only 2 episodes left.
Oh, now there's 1.
Yeah.
They suck.
Yeah, but
it sucks.
Next week you're gonna be like,
bro,
it's the best show ever, or it went that south really that fast.
Yeah, it fucking sucked.
That's kind of disappointing. Semi-professional podcasters. That I wouldn't even consider myself that. Semi-professional. I'm here, so that's about as good as it gets.
All right, check this out. You ever seen this one?
Wolverine. I know. I don't think I have. What issue? 4 variant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember what volume that was.
Let's take a look.
Ooh, that's a pretty cool variant, though.
Oh yeah, man. Let me see.
I'm gonna guess it's one of those later ones.
Let's see.
Solo Wookie says he's been very unimpressed with Secret Invasion so far.
Yeah, I thought it sucked too, Solo.
You were all about it the first 4 weeks.
No, the 4th week was a good episode.
Yeah.
Man, does that look like Ed McGuinness?
No, that doesn't look like Ed McGuinness work.
Fuck no. That's somebody else, dude.
Not at all.
What the fuck? Cover. Okay, very Jennifer M. Smith.
Chad Cave says he refuses to watch an 80-year-old Indiana Jones or a 75-year-old Nick Fury.
Yeah, no shit, Chad. Fucking sucks.
Yeah, I mean, but how do you feel about Indiana?
You're not going to do it. No, the show sucks, Aaron.
No, how do you feel about Harrison Ford being Red Hulk and all that?
Yeah.
Is that gonna is that gonna move the needle any for you?
Nope.
Or
Get off my plane.
I mean, the only thing for me was like to sell my Red Hulk, and I sold it, so I'm happy. Like,
you ever seen this one?
I have not, and it's a newsstand.
Yeah,
newsstand high grade. What issue is that?
123. 130, 133.
And then that would probably be the time period you would need you would want a newsstand. I should say.
Mama, look at that. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
Mama, it's mine.
I'd go live, but the last time I spoke in the after party, everybody left. It was like a bad part.
That's a pretty good one. Look at that.
Oh, the Michael Turner?
No, that's not Michael Turner. This one is.
Oh wait, no, it's
Oh my god!
Someone told me the other day. I saw Danger Room Comics sell it the other day.
Oh, he did. What did he sell it for?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Somebody put an offer in the chat.
But I want to say it was probably around $40 or something like that. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
High grade, minty, mama.
Yeah.
Oh, I showed you this one, right? This
the dynamic forces. Yeah.
Do
you know what's funny? Do you know what's funny? I found one that same week, but not at the price that you paid. They wanted like $20 or $30 for it. Oh, it's in Huck Lee Kingdom Comics says for the.
That's Michael Turner.
Yeah, I know that's a Turner cover. I'm
familiar with that one.
I want to say yes because it's pretty recent, isn't it?
No.
No?
This came out in 2010?
2010? Let us know in the chat if you're attending San Diego Comic-Con. And then Miguel H is asking, are those clear boards or are they just in bags?
No, they were clear boards. I only put them on certain books. Yeah. Is that a clear board? Yeah, this one's a clear board. See?
Oh, Awesome Sauce, the
see? Clear board.
Okay. It's a clear board? Okay. The Michael Turner book he was holding up was Death of Wolverine?
No.
Return of no, it's a Wolverine.
Wolverine Origins.
There you go.
#1, Michael Turner.
Wolverine Origins. I was eventually there's too many.
Awesome Sauce.
What's up? Still chilling. How are you? Hartman wants to do an AI comic cover. Well, don't talk about it. Do it.
You know, I'm gonna unsubscribe to Grace Randolph, dude, who does Beyond the Trailer. So she's a
I heard about her.
She's a film critic.
Uh-huh.
And so I've got my tickets to Oppenheimer tomorrow. So I'm going to see it at 5:00 and kind of beat the rush or whatever.
Yeah.
But this chick said that it wasn't good and it's already certified rotten. Right. I thought it was certified rotten already with over 100 reviews. And I'm like,
Kingdom Comics says he sold that for Red Hood for $300 signed 9/8. The Red
Which
Hulk.
Red Hood? Oh, Red Hulk.
Red Hood. Yeah.
Oh no shit. $300? Fuck.
But it was also signed 9/8. I mean, I know your book's going to turn out to be a 9/8, but I don't know what the price differences between signed books and blue labels are anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's starting to become a thing now, where people are saying that the sig on the book,
Doesn't
people are
help.
not liking that anymore.
Well, it was already a niche crowd, right? That was
Mhm.
like, I felt like that there's two type of people that were getting signatures, right? A, flippers that could, that had a customer base that wanted that, and then B, the people that are collectors, right? That just wanted that in their collection. Oh yeah, we talked about that on Long Story Short, I think.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I I hope Oppenheimer's good, dude. I'm gonna be so pissed off if it's not, dude.
I heard it was.
I mean, you got a lot of good actors, but like that doesn't mean shit anymore, dude. So
Have you seen this? Let me get it ready.
it's my boy Rocket. I'm just
All
showing
right.
books.
Have you seen this? Oh, that solo. Oh man, you're so lucky. Oh wait, crap.
You
That's
like
not it.
this one? It looks like a candidate. Yeah, it's 9.8.
Have you
Tango.
seen these yet? The ASIC
Yeah,
X-Men
that's
shoes.
by Kickstradamus, man.
What? The ASIC X-Men shoes?
Yeah, the
It's
ones
a
he custom did.
no. So it's a different one.
Oh,
It's
it's a
a
different one. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a this is the great curator. He got a pair before the release, and it's the so it's like ASIC shoes, and then that you also get a PSA graded card with it as
Yeah,
well.
Kix was doing it, and he custom painted the ASICs.
So they're doing a bunch of them now. So
Hmm.
it's who is it?
Like if you go to
It's
Kix's site,
it's Kith Footwear is doing the Kith and Asics are doing the they're mass producing it. They're doing blind bags of the shoes,
uh-huh.
and you get a card as well.
Go
So
go to Kickstradamus's. Shout out my boy Kickstradamus.
is it KIK
Strodamus. There he is. There it is right there. You got sound on it?
I mean, I don't know.
Edition
Can
Friends
you
and
hear
Family
it?
package
Yeah.
of the Marvel Kit collab. You cannot believe it till you see it. It comes with an exclusive Friends and Family comic book with the Kith logo on it. Also, inside this box is a mystery pack. That means you do not know which sneaker you're getting. So when I opened it up, I was hyped because I got Beast, and this card is slabbed in a PSA slab and is numbered to 50. That's how exclusive it is. Not only that, wait till you see the sneakers. Buttery smooth, baby. Suede blue Beast exclusives. That means you do not know which pair you're going to get, and I'm going for all
I don't
of
think
them.
he did them.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Thank you, PSA.
No, he
Kicks
didn't.
out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, he ordered them. I thought he painted them up because that's what he does.
No. So it's a Kith and Marbles collab, and then they're dropping.
I guess I misheard him. He went Kith, and I thought he said Kicks.
Yeah. So it's a Kith,
But it was Kith.
Yeah.
Kith.
So yeah, but it's pretty cool. I didn't know.
Hey, can I have a Kith?
So yeah, I didn't even know that. I knew about the shoes. There's like 7 different pairs, and then what is it? I knew about the card. I didn't know it came with a comic. So that's something new. So they're supposed to have a limited supply at San Diego Comic-Con. So if you stop by the Marvel
I'll tell you like this, those are fucking ugly shoes, dude.
I mean, I have a pair of those shoes. Like,
get out of here. Are you serious, dude?
For not the X-Men one, but for G.I. Joe.
Shut the fuck up. When did those come out?
Like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So I have a pair. I have a pair of the Snake Eyes, so I can
look. Click on those Iron Man shoes, dude.
these.
No, the Iron Man. Jesus Christ! Look, those. I think those light up. I love you 3000s.
Oh, that's cool.
Fuck yeah! Look, Stark Industries. He painted all those up, man.
Oh, he painted the bottom too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, kind of look like McDonald's, dude. Right? I'm just playing.
You just need a clown to wear them, right? Oh, these are pretty cool. Oh, we're going down a rabbit hole now.
Yeah, dude. Like he painted. He did a Harley Quinn one for my wife. So
that's pretty cool.
Whatnot.
Man, yeah. Have you seen any cool exclusives that you can think of or anything like that?
Nah, man. Like, unless like Campbell, doesn't Campbell have an exclusive?
Does he?
I don't know. Go to J. Scott Campbell. Hey, dude, did you see the Miss Marvel covers? The new the new X-Men.
Oh, the X-Men the new X-Men uniform?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see those.
Let's look at those, dude.
You're too ADHD for me right now.
I know, dude. I already saw the first picture.
Oh, it's this one, right?
Yeah. I already saw that one.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
ADHD. Yeah, go to the next one.
All right. So
it just came to me. I'm sorry, guys.
Miss Marvel, New Mutant, right?
Yeah.
Comic covers.
Awesome. I'm gonna make a Barbie porn parody.
Let's see. I don't remember that website Bryan always uses. And I know I've used it before. Is it? It's not DeviantArt.
What was the one Long Short showed? It was a homage to the Alex Ross cover.
Are you talking about the art germ one? This one? Oh. Are you talking about this one?
No, the one with the bubble gum. I don't know where.
This one?
Yeah. Yeah. So what cover is that one?
I don't know.
Is that an exclusive?
So, oh, crap. So I remember seeing that one where it's a homage to Miss Marvel 1.
So what do you think about this, dude?
To relaunch
the character.
See. So this is issue number 4, and it's a variant by Benjamin Sue. I mean, I guess it makes somewhat sense to make Miss Marvel a mutant anyways. If they're trying to separate themselves from the
Inhumans,
from the Inhuman stuff. Personally, it doesn't really matter to me. Like, it doesn't affect me one way or another. But I mean, at the same time, like, they killed her off out of nowhere for almost like no reason, right? And then to bring her back, and then to make her a mutant to officially go through the Krakoa process or whatever. I don't know. Like, it seems like a cheap thing to do to make it fit within the MCU continuity, if that makes sense.
It's better than Spider-Boy.
Oh, where he's like a vampire with the venom bites and stuff like that.
You know what it reminds me of? It's kind of like Kevin Durant joining the Golden State Warriors. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Like, leaving the Inhumans to like go to the X-Men. It's like joining the Golden State Warriors. Yeah. That's kind of like how I feel. But I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Would she be more popular as an X-Men? I mean,
it all depends on the writing. If they write some good stories,
Well, that the actress that plays Miss Marvel is joining the writing team. So so if they end up doing a season 2 of the TV series or the Disney Plus series, then I feel like she can lean into it more, right? Because then she's based off of something that she wrote, and then she knows what she's trying to portray as that character.
Let's see. What else? What else are we going to talk about? Let's see. Her death, Toy Time Studio says her death seems very unnecessary and lacking vision or direction for what's next.
I don't disagree with that statement. I mean, and then do you consider her a new mutant or just or new mutant? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it now.
I mean, or is she going to be part of the New Mutants team, right? I think this is the real question that I'm asking.
Right, because what if she's not an X-Men, but a New Mutant?
Right. Or part of one of the spin-off groups like Marauders or...
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Big Remo does make a good point that she's on strike now, and so she can't write or act right now.
Man, I thought all these comic book creators have been on strike for the last 5 years, bro.
And
just writing shitty material.
But if we're gonna have that conversation, okay, I remember not too long ago everyone was complaining, "Oh, we're getting too much content. There's too much content." Blah blah blah. And then now that everyone's on that. But now that everyone's on strike, then it's like kind of like, oh, we're not going to get enough content now, blah blah blah. We'll catch up on the content you haven't watched, right?
Like here's my thing, and I'm not a comic book writer or an artist, but you know how the story plays out with these not being able to keep your creative stuff, like when they took Aja's stuff for the Hawkeye show, and that's a thing when you're getting into the fucking industry, right?
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean? That's like working in
but I mean that's
around asbestos. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I can't believe I got sick. And it's just like, well, that's a thing, right? So to complain about it, I mean, like,
but I mean, it all depends on how your contract's written, right? That like, if you're selling your art outright to a studio, then they have the right to use it no matter what.
Right.
So you know what you're signing up for, right. And then if they end up using it for something that gets bigger, like, hey, if you get residuals from that, awesome. If you didn't have that in your contract, like,
why wouldn't they put that in their contract? Like, if I make a character and it's super badass, will you like give me some extra money?
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, like, I guess a lot of artists like don't have that future sight, right? That like, hey, I made this badass piece. They're gonna end up using like in the future.
So are artists, when they do a cover, gonna instead of writing after so and so, how they give credit, are they gonna have to put not AI on the cover? Right? Wouldn't that be something? Would they just not AI?
I mean, I think typically you can somewhat tell when something but has an AI. But I guess like what you're saying, like, are digital artists gonna have to start doing like leaving some sort of imprint?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Probably.
I would. I mean, just so that take that out of the
Or just put something like giant imperfection in there at some
Yeah,
some
right.
degree where
I'm
it's
gonna
not
make
distracting.
sure everybody knows this ain't AI because I'm gonna draw it all fucked up.
I mean, look at those April Fool joke books that they had, that DC had, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna tell me? Are you gonna sit there and tell me that those were AI?
Mm.
I mean, I also wouldn't buy those or grade them.
So, have you heard of that artificial intelligence app that kids are using to write book reports and shit like that?
Are you talking about the ChatGPT?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's been a thing for 9 months, right?
Okay. Well, I just barely found out about it.
Well, I mean, yeah. So you can use that tool or whatever, and then you can sit there and be like, "Oh, I need a business plan for whatever business you're starting,"
Mm-hmm.
and it'll write you a business plan for it.
Write me a business plan for comic book pressing.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say I didn't use it to write my performance review for the year, but I
See,
used it.
I should have fucking done that, dude. Oh my god, dude. I had to write reviews for
I mean, okay,
about
I mean,
70 employees, you know.
I mean, I still overread it, and then fix different parts of it that didn't make sense, or like my boss would be like, "What the hell? What the hell does this mean?" Like,
This doesn't sound like Aaron Yee. Hmm.
like, here's a cup, go pee in it.
Yeah, right. Who the hell are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Let's see. Tomb says anyone is going to complain when they are being exploited, and the entertainment industry exploits the F out of people hardcore. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that. That
Hey, what's going on, Tomb?
that people definitely get built up to being like, whatever superstar, blah blah blah, and then just to see everything crash.
So, let's mess around with AI, dude.
I have a work thing to start in like 14 minutes, so I don't know if I would. Do I even have a chat GPT? Do I have one? I think I do.
Let's see.
All right. Where's McClay? McClay is at San Diego Comic-Con right now. So he's gonna be there with Big Leg and everything. He might be joining us later. I'm not sure. How do I like the slab case from Hive? I love it, to be honest. Like, I like how it's UV protected. I'm not sure if I like how the comic has the opening at the bottom. That's the only thing I would kind of be like, I don't know about that. I do like how it comes with the anchor screw, and then it comes with a screw that you can just literally hammer in the wall, the anchor part, and then put in the screw, and then you just hang it, right? It's kind of nice. Displays. I mean, I guess the wall is a bit weird angle or whatever, but I like it. All right, I have ChatGPT. Let me add it to stream. All right, yeah. So you can see like my performance review is written right there. All right. So what am I typing in?
Write me a screenplay for a Secret Wars movie. Let's go, Shield headquarters.
Oh wow!
Here we go, baby. I've got your Secret War script right here, baby. Tony Stark is back. Nick Fury, of course. Look at and then they go to the Sanctum Sanctorum with Doctor Strange. Let's see who else is going to be in the movie here.
Wow, it's actually writing like stage directions and everything.
Nick Fury does the Cosmic Gauntlet.
Oh yeah, Ghost Lotus does make a good point that ChatGPT just compiles information. You have to train it to make a model. Oh, they just like wrote a scene or whatever.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I guess that's how it's going to get done. Ask it if Kamala Khan dies.
I didn't spell her name right at all. As of my last update in September of 2021, there is no canon information or storyline about Kamala Khan, known as Ms. Marvel, dying in Marvel Comics. Kamala Khan is a popular character.
Please note the world of comics is constantly evolving. So this is only current as of 2021. There's a lot of things that have happened in 2 years, bro.
Well, for that particular question, I don't know what version there. I mean, you know, there's several different AI tools like this, right?
Let's see.
Oh, okay, yeah. Ghost Lotus is saying it only updates until 2021. So for the last 2 years, it doesn't have that compiled information.
Let's see. How did the CIA kill Kennedy?
Oh my god.
There's no credible evidence. That's bullshit.
The Warren Commission's reports and subsequent investigations by various government bodies have consistently supported that the conclusion that Oswald was a lone gunman.
Not true.
Da-da-da-da.
This AI sucks, bro. So I was surfing YouTube, and they have a restored 4K Zapruder film with artificial intelligence assisted, bro. Back into the left, bro. Boom, just fucking head, just it's crazy, dude. I was having nightmares, dude. No. What else? I guess that's it, dude. Like,
do you have any pickups or anything like that? I mean, I figured like if we started, someone would join by this point in time.
Well, yeah, of course I picked this up.
The X-Men. Oh, let me put you on the
and
big
then
screen.
I picked up a first edition of Silence of the Lambs. But I'm pressing the book jacket and
Ooh, Deadpool 1.
I got another one of these.
How many do you know how to check for the newsstands for those, right? On the back side? Oh yeah, SDCC exclusives. Let me find the better website for that. I'm pretty sure we went over a lot of that this past Saturday.
Motherfucker.
So it's a wraparound cover for that cover, and then it's also
I never even thought about it. I scoop stuff up, and then hey, you see I think that's Deadpool's first magazine, Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know about that.
Total Film.
Nice. Oh, and then we have Igor was asking about the that older guy's mint silver book collection and stuff like that. I figured that
Oh yeah. So I hit him up again, and he didn't have near. He had like westerns and some other crap, and he wanted like quadruple of what I paid the last time with less books. And I'm like, because he probably realized that I got to steal, and which I did. But he wanted to like recoup that with the next deal, and I'm like, nah. And he had few superhero, like, you know, if we were talking like he had some Batman and some Spideys or something like that, then we could talk. But nah. All right, let's see. I'm scared. Fuck. Direct. Now you're gonna go make me look for a newsstand.
Oh, for a newsstand? Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pain in the butt to check for it because it's in the back, right?
Yeah. And then whoever has it and lists it on eBay is probably gonna know that they have a newsstand.
Yeah.
Bastards. Deadpool. Let me see what else. Nah, I put my other pickups in the other room. I showed you this, right?
Ooh, we have someone joining us. Hey, how's it going, Matt?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, man?
I don't think we've ever officially met. So.
No, pleased to meet you. My first time on Red Hood's channel. This is cool.
No, this is McClay's channel.
Even better, my first time on your channel.
Yeah. So we're on Beyond Wednesdays right now. McClay is currently at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm about to start doing some work stuff. So
yeah.
I'll still be here on stream, but I just won't be able to. Like, I'll kind of be like halfway listening in, and then but like I just wanted to make sure another person was here.
Yeah,
so and the show going.
Awesome.
And I gotta go too, man.
Oh, you actually have to go?
It's gonna be tight.
Well, just talk with Matt for a while I'm finishing up my work. So because it shouldn't take too long for me.
All right. Use the AI, dude. You'll be done quick.
I know, right?
Yeah.
My old union's fighting such measures. Oh,
all right. I guess we could talk Oppenheimer, dude.
Haven't seen it yet. Definitely gonna go see it this week for sure. It's funny. I think the first time I ever even saw a picture of Cillian Murphy, I was like, that dude looks like Oppenheimer. So kind of perfect casting. I heard they did some actual explosives in copying the atomic blast. I'm not sure to what degree, but it's not just all special effects.
Now, I was telling Aaron, I'm going to unsubscribe to Grace Randolph, man, because every time I'm looking forward to a movie, she shits on it. Like, what is her agenda, dude?
I'm not familiar enough, actually, with what she writes, but I think that's just been generally true, right? Like, every new film has not been doing particularly very well, except films that seem to be being heavily criticized on the left. Like, if something's being heavily criticized on the left, it does phenomenally well. Like, I just did a really, really long feature on that film, Sound of Freedom, which I'll probably upload next week. It's got a lot of edits and kind of cutaways in it. But that film cost $14.5 million, made $50 million in the first 10 days. It's already above $90 million. Had a $4,400 per screen average, which is about twice what Indiana Jones was in its second week of release. And of course, Indiana Jones is probably on 4 times as many screens. But I think there's just been a sort of, what's motivating people to go see things in the theater. There's a ton of stuff you can watch streaming, although streaming numbers are way down too. So I think that, after people being cooped up for a couple of years, maybe they're just really out there and doing stuff in real life. Here in Vegas,
I don't know, man. It's so fucking
super
hot.
Fun,
it's so fucking hot, dude. Like, I felt like I was in COVID lockup, dude. It was about 118 degrees outside, man.
Yeah, it hit 116 here 2 days ago. They're expecting that it was going to break or match or beat the all-time record today. I don't think it did. But then also just a couple of days ago in Henderson, which is about 28 minutes from where I live, it was 114 degrees and hailing. I don't even understand how that happens, but it did, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, what do you think? I mean, like, these films come out, we want to see them. You know, I have a lot more patience, I think, for a lot of the superhero films than most people do. You know, I don't tend to love stuff that is that I don't think is good, but I don't think things are as bad as people think they are. And going into this season, there were like 7 movies I wanted to see, and I've seen all but 2 of them. And I mean, the only one that was a bit of a disappointment to me, I just thought Joyride was going to be funnier.
What, you know, so Sound of Freedom, what do you make of all the issues that the theaters are having when they're playing that movie? And I've seen
Which issues?
like the AC's not working in the theater, the film suddenly stopping. Like there's video like of like 10 different theaters where they're having issues.
You know, I don't want to leap into any kind of conspiracy because,
Just
you
saying,
know,
bro.
theater owners don't want a bad experience doesn't mar the film. The bad experience mars the theater. You know, like if you go to a movie theater and the film breaks, you remember that. You know, and if it happens again, you're probably never going back to that theater. I think that one possible problem, and I have no idea, you know, to the extent that this is being reported, if it's true, if it's also just something to stir up, you know, more reasons for people to go support it. You know, like it could just be a marketing ploy of like saying, oh, people don't want you to see this, so you should see it. That's what it sounds like to me. But having been through a couple of sort of plateau releases in theaters with independent films, when something gets super wide, super quick, and you weren't expecting it, you have to scramble to get the films made. I would imagine at this point that almost everything is being digital, but that can cause more problems necessarily than a bad transfer off of a 35mm print. So if they were rushing to get stuff made and they went with the cheapest company possible to get that done, that means they didn't have a chance to QC all these new digital versions of the film before they hit theaters. I know people in California that used to work for Technicolor, and their job in 1 week might be to watch whatever new movie was coming out from Warner Brothers 15 times. You know, and what they're doing is they're checking each individual print before it gets sent to a movie theater in the weeks leading up to it. And there were, you know, 50 screening rooms in 2 different locations that would be dedicated sometimes to one film. So if they didn't have a chance to actually QC them, there could be all kinds of problems. But I tend to think that it's a lie, you know, that it's just a marketing ploy of saying, oh, they don't want you to see this, so you should rush out and see it. Because there was no drop off. Like it made $50 million and then it's like $90 million. That's a 80% or 90% repeat. That's legendary.
Well, if it is a marketing ploy, it's fucking genius. You know what I mean?
There's like 5 marketing ploys with this film. I mean, like number 1, they're doing the pay it forward marketing. What would you call it? Ticket sale option where you can buy a ticket for somebody else. You know, and so that contributed, I think, to like $3 million just in the first week. Which is massive. That
reminds me, I need 55 tickets and 55 sodas. And
yeah, right. And you get on the website, and I actually tried to use it. I was like, oh, let me see if it's possible. And I wanted to see it that day. I didn't want to wait, but I could have absolutely gotten a ticket for the next day. And I'm like, I need to know what this is about. I'm seeing a lot of really mixed kind of press out there. And, you know, I talk about this at length. I don't want to, you know, steal the thunder from something I put a lot of time into putting together. But I think that, you know, the lead actor didn't do the film any favors. He said some really silly, stupid things. He has a habit of saying silly, stupid things.
Jim Caviezel.
Yeah. But, you know, I saw the film. I enjoyed it. I didn't get a lot of the, you know, kind of panic fury of like, you know, you're going to walk out of this and it's brainwashing you into wearing a tinfoil MAGA hat. Like, I didn't get any of that, you know, and maybe I'm not susceptible to that, but I just really didn't see any of it. And as far as it not being the truth, I mean, what biopics are the truth? you know, and I mean, there's even an element in the film, and I won't say it here, but there's something that they do in the mechanics of the filmmaking that are like, oh, holy shit, this was true. Like it cannot be denied, you know? And so I think that it's getting a lot of support because it's a faith-based film company. There's a couple of lines in the film that sort of let you know that it's a faith-based film. Like sometimes, you know, there was a certain point in Christian rock where if you just change the word him to her, it was a country song. Like, you know, it's just like a real simple change of like one or two words. That's just what makes it Christian rock. And in this film, there's like one line that was clearly engineered to land with a certain demographic. And I gotta say, the line kind of lands, you know, like I don't think it was over the top. I wasn't like, oh Jesus, what am I watching? You know, pun intended. But you know, it's quality filmmaking. It's 5 years old. You know, it's not a new movie. It sat on a shelf for 5 years. And there's a whole conversation that can be had about that. But you know, it's one of these films that just got dropped in turnaround, and someone believed in it enough to, you know, bring it out. And I think because this company had done very well with their sort of holiday releases, like you go to AMC theaters, right? Occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how sometimes you'll be in there and there'll be an ad for an opera and it's like only screening 1 day or like 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a company called Fathom Events.
Yeah.
And
Fathom.
so they've done like, I went and saw like a Rush concert once, you know, like in a theater.
Really?
Yeah, they do all kinds of stuff. They're not.
I saw a UFC fight.
Yeah,
I saw
with
Riff
my
Tracks.
buddies.
If you're familiar with that, or
Yep,
if you've ever
Riff
watched
Tracks.
if you ever watched Mystery Science 3000s, it's the same people.
Yep.
They just rebranded it, and then they're starting to do like current movies now, right?
Yeah, I guess whatever they can get the rights to be able to talk over it. I actually saw the Oscars last year at a Fathom Events, and it was kind of great. They had like they brought in like a champagne vendor and stuff, and like everybody was dressed up.
That's pretty cool, dude.
People wearing tuxes and stuff. It was really, really cool.
Well,
so like
was
that,
the Clerks 3 or whatever that was originally a Fathom event where they only showed it in certain locations.
That movie was bad, dude.
Although the last 15 minutes of that movie were one of the best 15 minutes of film last year. Like I honestly believe that. I think that the last 15 minutes of Clerks 3, it becomes a very different film. Like then it becomes like doing this amazing thing for your dying friend type of thing. And it kind of ties everything together, you know, and, you know, obviously I know Kevin, and I'm not going to speak ill of him. You know,
I'm a fan of Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
I genuinely love his ability to tell stories.
Yes, I think the language holds things up.
Right, and not be a comedian. Like he can legitimately like the whole what blew me away was the whole Superman movie and his debacle with the producer if you guys happen to
in the Prince story,
go on YouTube where he's telling the story, and he tells it in such a way that it's just like, this really happened. And then when I forgot the John Peters, the producer, that used to be Barbra Streisand's hairdresser. Right. So when they do the documentary, he basically admits.
Totally. I mean, that's the thing is like, you know, that dude is exactly who he is. You know, Bradley Cooper plays him in the Paul Thomas Anderson movie, Licorice Pizza.
No,
and he plays him totally coked out and out of his mind. Yeah. And like, you know, like a guy who like thinks he can out there and street fight because he used to. Great final 15 minutes. There's a few. I'd have to put my thinking cap on. Maybe next time I'll make a list.
And Endgame's last 15 minutes or something to, you know.
That might be the well, then it has the caesura in much the same way that Return of the King does. But so like it really it hits an apex and then it kind of settles down. And certainly, you know, Captain America catching the hammer. Every time I watch that, my eyes fill like pools. You know, like it's just no matter. I've seen that film probably 13 or 14 times, and every single time that moment happens, I'm just like choked up. But yeah, I mean, like when you look at that platform and you look at Fathom and you look at the pay it forward thing they're doing, like all these things kind of pull together to make it a really smart release. And and they had the right film to do it, but they've had these successes before. So the company that did it, Angel Studios, is out of Provo, Utah, and they've been doing faith related releases for quite a long time. They made something like $16 million on a very limited Fathom release of like this Christmas musical that apparently I think they've done a sequel to. But because they did so well, they got a massive investment from a couple of hedge funds, and to the tune of like almost $50 million. So if you've got like a kitty of $15 million, you can pick up studio films that maybe cost $25 million that have been sitting on shelves for like half price, because they're like, they know they can't make any money on it. It would be an embarrassment for them to try and do a release for films that they don't think are going to do well. So like if they know they're not going to put any money into it, then they just say no. I mean, like we've just seen, you know, speaking of something sort of Kevin Smith adjacent, I'm sure you read that Netflix canceled the live action version.
I saw that.
Of which was already shot and completed of Masters of the Universe. Kevin did the animated show. And now they're shopping it around. They want somebody else to pick it up and release it. So it's been kind of Batgirled. And it looks like there's another film that just got Batgirled, right? Like there was a little fear that was going to happen to Blue Beetle. And it seems like they're just going to put it out. Like they were going to maybe wait until after the strike. But they're actually afraid that the wait is going to hurt. And I think that they're right. You know, if you're expecting something to come out and it doesn't, you forget when it finally does.
I thought it was originally supposed to be a straight to Max release
because they was shot during the pandemic, yeah, and
then they decided to put it out and do a theatrical release.
Well, I think they wisely did a couple of test screenings, and people were like, "You're going to put this on TV?" But then I think there was also the Black Widow case happened at Disney, where you know before these films were made, even if they were shot during the pandemic, these contracts might go back a year and a half before that, right? So I think that you know the lead signed his contract before he even shot the third season of Cobra Kai. So you know with that happening, who knows what the back end deals are, and the fear of repercussions of having to maybe pay somebody out more than you can estimate a movie will make if it doesn't get a theatrical release. It's just easier to do your accounting when you can point to a box office and say that someone gets a portion of that. I really do think Scarlett Johansson got screwed by, you know, Black Widow going straight to Disney Plus. Like, and I think she was smart to sue, and I think they were very smart to realize that they had done it wrong and made some sort of restitution. But you know, I remember when Dune came out, I went and saw Dune in the theater first because I wanted it to make money. And then I came back home and I watched it again on television, you know, that same day. And I think I've probably seen that first Dune film 12 times at this point. It's like a weirdly religious experience watching that movie. And the second one looks amazing.
What did you see Secret Invasion today, dude?
What was it, like half an hour? I mean, it's a short. We're thinking like as we're getting down to the last two episodes, it's like, wow, they really must be pulling out the big guns on these last two episodes, because so far, so what, you know? And this one, I was just kind of like,
bro, it was bad, dude.
What was the point of it?
I don't know, but like Nick Fury, like hits like Don Cheadle in the head with the butt of the gun, and it looked like so fake. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck?
And that's all in the angle. That's all in the angle of the shot. I mean, you can sell a lot of stuff using really basic, you know, like camera angles. But
how did this show cost 200 and something million? I haven't seen it.
It's not on screen.
So somebody's cooking the books, bro.
I 100% agree. I don't see where the money went.
Bro, that's a fucking $30 million fucking shit, dude.
Maybe to the stars. Maybe that money went to the talent, you know, maybe because Sam is a star and he's a producer. Maybe he paid himself $22 million right off the top. Maybe Don Cheadle needed another couple million to come back and do TV because he didn't want to do TV. I mean, talk about a phone-in performance.
Wow.
You know, I mean, Sam Jackson, who was a journeyman actor for years, gets Pulp Fiction, launches him into the stratosphere, basically on 2 words, and but made him compelling and made him sort of like a part of pop culture in him, like kind of repeating doing that. But there was also a sense of honesty to what he was doing.
I heard why he used the Mother F, right?
Yeah.
That was because he had a stutter, and he was using Mother F to cover up his stutter.
That's
I
interesting. That's cool.
I mean, that's what I've heard. I think
I'll use that excuse next time I throw that around.
I'm just gonna tell everybody I have Tourette's, but
Motherfucker.
Not in any way belittling the very real struggles of people who do have Tourette's syndrome. But my next door neighbor, growing up, his grandfather had it, and some of the most hilarious moments in life. He got into a fight with another old man, and they were in court, and the judge decided for him, and he was like, "Thank you," you know, and then was like, "Because you're MF," you know, and it was like everybody's like, "Oh my god!" But it was explained in his pretrial motion that he had a condition, and it's just kind of ridiculous. But
Man,
you know,
now that would be a good movie.
yeah. But I mean, people would think you were, and maybe you would be, you know, making fun of him, and that's not cool. But you know, it would be an interesting element if it was a worthwhile and honest portrayal that enriched a story, because these moments are kind of funny sometimes. But I mean, they're all phoning it in except the new people. You know, Coleman, fantastic. Can't get enough of her. Why don't they put her in more of it? At least we got more of her in this last episode.
She was good in this episode.
Yeah, and I mean, and then, you know, anytime you got, you know, the Game of Thrones dame, I mean, like, she's good in everything.
Mm-hmm.
She's maybe a little bit underutilized in the sense of like physical stuff, because she's obviously trained,
man. Like,
but again, it's badly shot, right? That's what it is. Because like the scenes with her have been like oddly less compelling than they might otherwise be, and I think it's because it's not a very well directed show.
I don't know what we're doing. Like the last episode, I don't know what is it going to tie into, like, because you know Fury's in the Marvels, so
yeah,
and evidently he goes back up. So is the Marvels before or after Secret Invasion? Like, man, they've been shitting the bed like left and right, dude. Like,
and this had such potential, you know, like they were comparing it to one of the best films in the Marvel universe, right? They were comparing it to, you know, like Winter Soldier is such a great movie, a political potboiler.
Hell no, not even close.
This isn't even as good as like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the TV show.
It's worse than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., man. I had like episode 4, like the acting with Sam Jackson and the lady that played his mom in what was that, Unbreakable. It was the same actor, right?
Yeah. That's a good call.
And so I thought their acting, what was it, Beloved, when they were you know, she was reading the poem to him, and then you know, and then it comes back full circle.
That's good scripting.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought we were going to see, but like, and I felt like that was the turn. Okay, here we go. Like the first 3 were just getting you situated of where you are, what's going on, and yeah, just it's disappointing because they made the trailer look like this was going to be like fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, kudos, whoever cut that trailer, give them a raise.
Yeah, but, no shit.
I'm going to disagree with the last thing that you just popped up on screen. They said that none of the Disney Plus shows have been well directed or well written, and I don't think that's true. I think that I'd say that Loki was extremely well directed and well written. I think that Hawkeye is maybe the best show that they've done thus far. I would have to say that, you know, the style, I think, is what people didn't necessarily like about WandaVision. It was the first Disney Plus show, so they really wanted to do something on TV that they couldn't do in a movie theater. So doing that different sitcom style every episode, I think, was part of separating it a little bit stylistically and making it kind of new.
But then it's also kind of like a throwback too, right? To like some of the original sitcoms that were out there.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. I
s-
Love Lucy.
Right.
The Brady Bunch and all that stuff.
Right,
But
but it's just showing like the evolution of television too, right? That like
yeah.
these were once broadcast on TV in black and white, blah blah blah. You moved on from cable. You're now watching this on Disney Plus, and then
And I mean, it was a well written show. I mean, I don't think
Oh.
anybody could accuse it of being poorly written. I just don't know that it was what anybody wanted. It's sort of like, and there's maybe a bit of that. I mean, but we also got to remember that in the middle of this, everybody piles on Disney. Certainly, the last season of Mandalorian was a bit of a head scratcher, but the series before it, Andor was fantastic. So I mean,
I thought Andor was so good, but it was like different, way different, and
also very expensive. I think it was a $500 million series.
See, and Secret Invasion said it was like 280. Like we didn't even get half of what they gave us in Andor, right?
So how much did Falcon and the Winter Soldier cost? I mean, like, so that these are very good comparisons, right? So Falcon and the Winter Soldier, still it looked like a movie. It felt epic in the change of locations in a way that Secret Invasion just doesn't. Like, Secret Invasion feels small, but I think a lot of it is the camera choices. Like the camera angles are bad, but also the dude that plays, lead Super Skrull is garbage. I mean, he's not a good actor. I mean, maybe he's great at Shakespeare in the Park. I have no idea. He is not killing it as a Skrull. And the kind of hard to care about, all these other Skrulls that we don't know. So they become sort of just like cannon fodder for whatever's going to happen. So you don't care.
So like Nick Fury went and collected all the DNA from the Endgame battle scene and has got it all in this one vial. So he's got DNA.
Does that make sense?
From all these superheroes in this vial.
Where did you pick that up? I mean, we're watching the same show. That completely missed me.
Yeah, so it's all the DNA in this vial. What is he going to do with it? He's hid it in this tombstone, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think Gravik knows that he has it, and that's why he's after him. And he wants that DNA to put it. I guess that's where we're going with this. And he's got a
Skrull super serum, basically.
Yeah, and you see, I watched the teaser trailer for episode 6, and you see this Hulk Super Skrull like thing. I was like, what are we doing here, bro?
I mean, speaking of like last episodes in Hulks, the completely almost head-splittingly terrible final scene of She-Hulk, which I could enjoy on its own merits until the Daredevil walk of shame. And then I was just kind of like, this is terrible. Like, and I was sort of willing to give it a chance and realize, well, maybe this isn't intended for me. Maybe I'm not the audience. But I don't know what audience wanted anything that happened in that final episode.
See, what made all of these shows and you bring up the Winter Soldier, I think that's where we knew we were getting something different.
Yeah.
Right, because everything kind of just felt campy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when Winter Soldier came along, you felt like that, man, there are some serious consequences here,
Yeah. Yeah.
And, of course, that led into Civil War. And then, I've talked about it many times where you go and do this Guardians of the Galaxy. And if that doesn't hit, if that does like a Disney Plus shit the bed, we don't have Infinity War or Endgame, And I think like the grittiness from the Netflix series like Punisher and
Daredevil.
like grittiness and just street I think, and more like mature than this like campy stuff that we're getting right now. Like this is like not what we're accustomed to. We're accustomed to like everything is serious, like there's something on the line, like it's important. It's something special. Like you don't get any of that. And I just feel like we've wasted a lot of fucking time. You know what I mean? Where we could have really created something and then we know where we're going. I don't know where the fuck we're going and why.
Well, Echo, you know, you're going to get street level there.
Why are we still like fucking around with the multiverse? Like, I guess, you know, the whole Jonathan Majors thing's got me worried because that's a big role that he's supposed to play in Loki too. Yeah. Loki, that's a big role. So I don't know where we're going with that.
I mean, that dude's a solid actor. I mean, he's always good on screen. I mean, the problem, to the extent that there is one, and who knows if there is one, is that he's intense on set. You know, that's the same thing that people would say about Shia LaBeouf. You know, and Shia LaBeouf is only Shia LaBeouf's worst enemy. He doesn't usually give a bad performance. You may not like him. You know, like I think that people were just like, why is this, you know, this dude again, you know, in the previous Indiana Jones film. But I went back and watched it. And I mean, aside from the ridiculous explosion, you know, surviving an atomic bomb in a refrigerator, it's no crazier than stuff we've seen in Bond films, I guess. And going back and watching it, I was like, oh, that wasn't as bad as everybody kind of made it seem. And the recent film I liked. I thought it was a fine Indiana Jones film. I thought it was well directed. It had a good villain. You know, you could say that they start off by, you know, belittling the character. But I mean, how old is Harrison Ford now? I mean, like, it's amazing that he's taking on the role that he's taking on in the MCU at his age.
No, but like you would think, like, the template has been made. Like, this is what is epic.
Yeah.
Like, anything less than this is not good.
Right.
And it's not the expectation. Like, the bar has been set. Yeah. You've got to have a great story, and you've got to have great special effects, because that's what we're paying for. Like,
although
the movie
effects
price,
have been paying the price, right? Like that's
right.
That's
like we're paying for an experience.
Yeah.
Like, if you've got IMAX and you've shot it, like, I want to see something epic.
Right.
You know, like, I don't want to see something that, like, and I'm leaving the theater like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
I'm glad you mentioned that, actually. So I just went and saw Mission Impossible 7.
How was that?
I thought it was great. And apparently there's a 4-hour director's cut of part 1. And I would happily sit through another 4 hours of Mission Impossible. To me, I could do standing on my head. But like, and I thought it was a good movie, but they killed it by calling it part 1. Like, you're not going to get people in the theaters if they know that they're going to have to wait a year to see it wrap up. I mean, you got to get people in, and then it's continued, and they're like, but then they begrudgingly go and see. I think they really messed up the marketing with this. But I got to say, you know, the previous MI6 is one of the best action films of all time. You know, I honestly think it's top 3 of like one of the best American, at least, action films of all time. And it's even up there with like The Raid 2 as far as like relentless action. You know, and with the Wick 4, which was kind of wonderfully relentless as well. But I
love the callback to the Warriors in John Wick 4. Like just like the radio DJ, just the whole idea, like, you know, he has to get to a certain area, and then it's exactly like a, you know,
a play on Walter Hill's The Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong having Donnie Yen, dude. Donnie Yen is just he's a phenomenal actor, man.
I mean, they're in France. They missed the opportunity of having mimes on skates, right? But they fit everything else in that movie, so we're not going to criticize them for that. But I think that the only way that you could say that Mission Impossible 7 suffers is by comparison to Mission Impossible 6, which is like comparing anything to Endgame, right? I mean, like, we got lucky. We saw Endgame is maybe the greatest superhero film of all time. And it's weird to say that because it's so dependent on so many films before it. But it's still, all the beats are there. Like, I can sit down and watch that without watching Infinity War first. I can just sit down and watch Endgame. And you know, that's a rarity. And I think it spoiled us forever for expectations of the Marvel Universe. Well, and those brothers wisely avoided getting into the multiverse. They're like, this is going to ruin everything, and they were right.
No, the way they connected the dots, they built this big world, right?
Yeah.
And even, like delved into the past. So when they went back in time, you knew where they were and who those people were, and Howard Stark and the original Ant-Man, and just seeing them all in the Agent Shield headquarters. Like, make that show. Like, go back to the
Roots of Shield.
Yeah, like when you have a young Michael Douglas and a young Michelle Pfeiffer and a young Howard Stark. Make that with
you have. That's a pitch that Disney would take.
Absolutely.
If some smart person walks in there and says, you know what you need to do with Disney Plus? Nothing new. You need to do Marvel 62.
Yeah, there you go.
Need to go back and do the origin of this universe and tell the old stories. Get back and talk about that time between Super Soldier Serum and Captain America coming out of ice. What happened? And that's kind of what they did with Agent Carter, which was a really good show.
I think that got kind of pushed off, but you go watch it. I mean, she was great.
I'd much rather watch that. I mean, and Haley Atwell plays a huge part in enjoying that. But and I mean that's got a ton of woke stuff in it that no one gets on its case about. That series had a lot of very progressively minded ideals, but people love that show because it was a good show. So I mean, there's evidence that while people are blaming a kind of hard right turn against what people are sort of reading into the Disney agenda, and certainly there's some stuff there, but it was still good. It played into telling a good, compelling story and let you know that you weren't watching necessarily something that was shot in 1950, but that would be an amazing thing. That's a fantastic idea. To go back and say what was Osborne like as a kid, before he had Osborne, Industries. Like, we've never seen that story told ever. So there's a lot of room for not just what we know about going back to these people before, the Avengers team, but what led to this. I think that there'd be fantastic interest in that. And I think that they could probably do it maybe less expensively than some of the stuff that they're doing now, even though that would be a period show. So, I mean, and they've done enough right that we know that they can. And that's what sucks, right? Like, when I watched the Watchmen movie in theaters, and Watchmen is, I think, probably the best comic that was ever made. And it's kind of hard to beat. And people may have favorites, but I think when the chips are down, it's probably the best constructed comic book of all time. And that makes it a hard film to make. And it went through a lot of different directors. I talked to Terry Gilliam about it. He was supposed to do it at one point. James Cameron was supposed to do it at one point. And all the scripts were terrible. So then they finally kind of feel like, oh, we're just going to do the comic book. And they bring on a guy like Zach Penn, who every time you would see his name back then, it was visionary director Zach Penn. And he was so on the nose with it that it actually almost took away. And he got so much right that what he got wrong hurt, because it was almost at the top. It was almost through the roof. And then it just stopped short from really making it. And, some of the casting I thought was off, but some of the casting that I thought I wouldn't like, I thought was fantastic. So
as far as the casting, who didn't you like?
I thought I wasn't going to like the actress who was Silk Spectre, and I thought she did a marvelous job.
Yeah, see, that one, I kind of was puzzled with that one. But
I thought she did okay. But really, Matthew Good was super weak as Ozymandias.
Yeah.
And so when you see, Jeremy Irons do it on HBO, you're like, fuck. And, and I got to say, and this is probably not very popular, but I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a terrible actor. And I think he's awful in almost everything. He was good as Negan because it's such a cartoon.
Right.
But, and I
the
did
comedian,
enjoy him. I liked him in The Losers. I thought he was good in The Losers. But everything else he's in is just terrible. And so I thought, and aging him up just looked like, you took cigarette ash and put it in a young guy's hair.
Yeah.
And I thought, it's if they had Stacy Keach be the comedian that gets thrown out the window, you'd be like, that's what the comedian would look like. And that guy can probably still kick most people's asses. So that was, to me, those are two big failures, and those are the two like major sort of bad guys. So not having that in place kind of rotted. I actually didn't mind that they didn't do the giant squid invasion, because I'm like, how could you do that? You know, it's like, this is a smarter way of doing it. And then you see the HBO show and you're like, fuck, they totally could have done it. Like, but we didn't know what we didn't know. And so I think we were maybe even more accepting of some stuff that we didn't have to put up with. But the 60s music cues really bothered me. And I don't know why, but like, that's a great opportunity to have like Killing Joke and like all this like really bleak, you know, 1980s music that was just like, we were all living, you know, under the potential of nuclear holocaust. And there's some great music in that era that matches that project. And that certainly, you know, that Alan Moore would have been listening to Killing Joke and The Clash, you know, and some really good stuff. So to do these weird 60s catalog music throwbacks was just bizarre to me. And as much as I love My Chemical Romance, it was super strange to have them as the final song in the film. And I don't think there was really a Watchmen soundtrack that they were trying to sell that would help record sales on. I think that got released as a single. So those things fell flat, but it was so close to like really, really nailing it. And
I thought they nailed it with Rorschach.
Totally. Jackie Earle Haley, holy shit, yeah. Even Night Owl.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. I liked him. Of course, Dr. Manhattan was
well, he was computer generated, and then but the actor who played him isn't the model for the computer generation. Yeah. You know, Billy Crudup is also a phenomenal actor. And
I'm a golden god.
Yeah, I love that. I read on that film, and I read on it when Brad Pitt was in that role.
Really?
Going back that far, yeah. It's a shame I didn't realize I used to see Billy at auditions before he got that role, just like for commercials and stuff. And always got along with him. So it was a shame that I didn't get called back in to read. I think they thought I had too many tattoos for a 1970s story. But yeah, I mean, you know, that may be, you know, I mean, people hate, you know, the Batman movie got a lot of hate. I thought the Batman movie was tonally maybe the best and had the best, most realistic fighting of any Batman movie ever. I mean, that's what a fight looks like, you know, like, and it really captured that energy. And Matthew Vaughn's a fantastic director and he writes well. It's weird. It's two movies, you know, that kind of sort of like got like kind of connected like a moon pie. But aside from that, I thought it was still very, very enjoyable. I want to see what he does with his universe based on that film. He did a great job with the Planet of the Apes movies. His remake of Let the Right One In is maybe even better than the original on some levels. On some levels, it's weaker, but you know, the guy knows what he's doing.
Hey, you had brought up Shia LaBeouf earlier, and I saw the McEnroe Borg movie that they did. Did you ever see that movie?
Oh, the comedy?
No. It was a serious movie.
Oh no, I haven't seen it.
No, it's McEnroe Borg, I think.
Wow.
And I was gonna see if you knew who shot it, because the way the movie is shot is phenomenal, man.
Huh.
And
well, I mean, I guess it's easy to find out, right? They can pull it up on IMDb and see who the cinematographer was. But I mean, even like, you know, Creed 3 is well shot. This is a first-time director.
Oh yeah. Oh God. I was so disappointed, dude.
I actually liked it. I liked it.
No.
But I mean, I did binge watch the first two before I watched the third one. So like, I kind of watched it all throughout like a weekend or something like that. So
God,
like, I
it
guess
could
like
have
all
been
the
so
events
much better, man.
I mean, when you heard that he was looking at Dragon Ball Z as the influence for the fights, and there's a little bit of that in there. I mean, it's not really straight up Dragon Ball. You know, if you were expecting that, you would have been disappointed. But I gotta say that, you know, being the star and directing doesn't usually work out for people in a high intensity physical capacity. It's tough. And even producing, like, you remember the movie Never Been Kissed with Drew Barrymore, where she goes back to school and, you know, David Arquette steals every scene that he's in. So that was like peak Drew Barrymore. Like, she was glowing. Like, if you were around her in those days, like you were like, wow, Drew is beautiful. Like, she looks great. but she was producer on that film, so she was up all night, almost every night, and so she ends up, she's a little puffy, like there's just it's a little bit off. It prevents it from being like her truly like absolute iconic role, because she was wearing two hats. She was a producer and a performer. I mean, obviously, you know, people like Warren Beatty have been directing themselves for years. You know, we can't use the word iconic.
No, you can. I just you said
so it was iconic, right?
Yeah.
So you know, some people can do it, but again, you know, with Warren Beatty, he has the luxury of being able to do as many takes as he wants to do as the director. He's not.
I didn't want to say it, Doc Joe, but I was thinking it.
You guys are great. You guys are mean, is what you are. But
this is a tough crowd here, so
it is. It is.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't even want to hear what they're gonna say about Henry Thomas, but or Dee Wallace. And actually, Dee has like, she's like got a self-help, like almost like psychiatric channel on YouTube. It's amazing. Like she did an episode with Michael Rosenbaum. And I mean, it was like free therapy, dude. Like, tune in and watch that. You'll get a lot out of it. Speaking of ET.
Hey, so what do you think of all these the AI generated age here, where we're really going to have to now we're going to question every cover that we see. Is that AI or is it Memorex? Like,
I mean, well, you know what? I mean, what we're going to be seeing is what we saw with Greg Land, right? Like, where you're going to have people that are going to be like, okay, I know that comes from a D&D module from 5 years ago, and this element comes from the Sports Illustrated issue, and, you know, this element comes from that. People are just going to keep calling it out. But Greg Land keeps working. You know, it's not like, you know, the fact that he was not only recycling all of his own drawings that were completely, you know, scanned and traced from porn mags.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. And certainly from other existing photography, but that's always been in comics. I mean, Jack Kirby even swiped a couple of things back in the day from like Life magazine, but the whole like laziness of like from panel to panel, there being no consistency in what the character looks like. It's like, wait, is this supposed to be the same character on 3 different pages? That is maybe something that AI could have fixed. You know, like that if you're using like, oh, I want this pose, but I want it to look like Natalie Portman, then you can have a character that looks like Natalie Portman, and it will keep the hair consistent, and it would line things up. And you're probably going to see that. I hope that illustrators will just be using their own photo references. You know, like if they have a wife and kids, they'll exploit the family and take pictures for poses. You know,
but I mean, how many video game developers have you heard that says like, you know, they're light years ahead of time now because of AI, right?
Yeah.
So where they can constantly keep them doing the repetitive background stuff that would take like, you know, a year to develop or whatever. It jump starts them so they can focus on other things within their programming.
Right. Well, that's a big part of the strike. So the big worry, because we've seen these contracts already, are that you know, as a background extra, like you show up. I mean, background extras get paid shit. I mean, like background extras might make $30 to $60 a day on a union film, and I mean that's an 8-hour day. I mean, I imagine it's been a while since I've known somebody who's done it, but like I imagine with depending upon what state you're in, it has to be consistent with what the hourly wage is. But I mean, you may be getting minimum wage basically and be expected to stay through you know, like for an 18-hour day and not get, you know, golden pay, not get time and a half, and then they're going to take that performance and reuse it. They never have to hire you again. So they just paid you the lowest possible wage imaginable, and now they get to exploit it forever under every known format. Put words in your mouth. There's a great episode of Black Mirror, you know, that's about this. It's got Salma Hayek in it. It's hilarious. You know, of some woman signs up for Netflix, and it's shooting her life in her living room, and then it's in her phone, so it's picking up everything, and they start writing a sitcom based on her life, and it's exactly her life with her name.
Man, I gotta
have
see
like
that.
an actress paying for it. It's like the best sort of cautionary tale of why this is maybe a very, very terrible thing. I also saw today that can't remember who posted it, but they posted this whole video that's at the Dali Museum in Florida, where they're kind of bragging like, oh, we've taken all this footage of Dali and now you can take selfies with him and all this other stuff. And like, until they got to the selfies part, I was like, well, Dali might actually sort of have gotten a kick out of the idea that there's this weird talking version of him years after his death that can entertain people. He might have liked that. But the idea of posing with the public would have driven him absolutely bananas. So, you know, they talk about how it's belittling to the artistic process. I think that the people who posted against it don't quite understand who Dali was and really what his mindset was, and that he loved these kind of weirdly exploitive things. But they have a point. And, you know, unless his family is giving permission to exploit a likeness, as would maybe the Elvis estate, you know, would be required to sign off on anything Elvis, the James Dean estate or whoever controls that, the Monroe estate, things like that. Clearly, no one's looking out for the Marilyn Monroe estate if you saw the movie Blonde.
Hey,
wow, yeah. that movie was
hey,
bad.
real quick, hey, Doc Joe. There's not going to be a market report tonight. I got asked last minute to fill in as a host for Bryan, so that's why we're having this, you know, just like an open panel discussion. Bryan is at San Diego Comic-Con and having a good time, so you know he definitely needs that vacation time period to enjoy the con and everything. So not our typical show tonight, but yeah, no market report.
I would say, like, what I've seen from AI, like the restoration of like World War II dogfights and things like that are really interesting. And I even saw the 4K AI restored version of the Zapruder film.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's
without the grain. How does it look without the grain? I mean,
hey, Aaron, pull it up.
What?
The Kennedy
assassination
AI restored. Hold on, I'll find it.
Yeah, throw the link in the private chat and make it easy for me.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. That sounds crazy.
I don't.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm gonna send it to text message.
Oh, okay.
It's easier for me. Hold on.
But I think we're probably in that 15-minute wind up, right? I think you're probably going to have to kick in about 15 minutes.
Let's see. Yeah.
I don't want to keep you too long. I know.
No, that's okay. You had to go. Hold on.
Yeah, and I'm almost finished work, so.
Hold on. Y'all be quiet. Hold on. I'm thinking. Let me see. Where is it? Oh, my God. Hold on. Say something, Matt.
Something. But I was actually going to ask you about pressing D&D modules, like doing cleanup on that stuff. I started loading up on some of the old classic Dungeons and Dragons modules. They don't have staples on the outside, so they kind of like fit into the sleeve, and then the interior stuff does. But getting that stuff pressed, no one's grading them yet, so I anticipate that that's coming down the pike soon. I traded a couple of emails with some folks at CBCS because I think that in that size, their slabs are just so far superior to CGC that if I was going to really encapsulate anything at this point, unless it was like a very expensive Silver or Golden Age book, that I'd probably do it through CBCS.
So everyone's asking for, I know it's been like an hour or whatever since you've been on, but everyone's asking for introduction of, you know, what's your background? Like,
They're like, who's this guy? Why is he on the show?
Yeah, like how'd you get started in podcasting? You know, how'd you meet Red Hood? You know, stuff like that.
Sure, yeah. Okay, so for the uninitiated, probably the best term, I'm Matt Kennedy. I'm the author and host of Pop Sequentialism. The Pop Sequentialism catalog was I did as an 80-page giant, and it was to commemorate the first exhibition of the Pop Sequentialism Traveling Art Show. And that was built around the classic collaborations between writers and artists that had won awards in the modern era. So from like Watchmen forward was sort of like Watchmen to Walking Dead was kind of my barometer, and it had to be heroic fiction. So even though Walking Dead might be technically seen as like an indie horror comic, it is definitely built around the tropes of heroic storytelling. And I didn't realize until I started putting it together that there had never been a survey show of modern comic art. Like there were exhibitions of the art of this one comic or of this one artist, but there was nothing that really embraced like, you know, writer and artist and the importance of writer, artist, inker, and letterer in a certain era. And so when I put it together and I had done all this work, it was really going to live just on the art gallery website. And I'm like, I've written 80 pages. I'm publishing this. You know, like there's no way I did all this work for something that's just going to sit on a server. So the gallery I was running at the time, Lovelace Jesus Gallery, had a publishing partnership with Last Gas Books. And so we put it out. And I actually got 5 copies of it graded 9.8 from CBCS not too long ago. I signed them. You know, did the signature thing in person at the Vegas Amazing Con. So it's so cool to see like your own work like in a slab. Like it was the first time my own work
that's badass, dude.
Yeah. But I've been doing this for a while. I ran the Pod Sequentialism podcast on the Meltdown Network. This was when we were sort of like the sister network of what would you call it? They did Comedy Melt there at Meltdown. Nerdist basically. And I met Redhood through Thorough, you know.
Thorough.
You know, Thorough I had been corresponding with about the C2E2 fiasco. I also I write for Go Collect. I have a column. I haven't been as regular with it lately because I've been finding less and less reasons to necessarily write about the investment worthiness of comics. But you know, I do cover, you know, kind of big stories there, and the 2 articles I wrote on C2E2 are kind of like the go-to history of what happened. So most people would use that on Go Collect, and some people, you know, give it credit, some people don't. I certainly gave credit to everybody that I talked to in that, to the point that some people were unhappy that they were mentioned in that article. And I'm like, well, don't take pictures, you know, that get posted on social media if you want to pretend you weren't there. But you know, my direction is that I kind of come at things from I consider myself to be mainly in the center, but probably leaning a little bit left. And so I tend to prefer to appear on shows that skew a little bit right, because I think it gives a good counterpoint. And I'm way more interested in agreeing about stuff than disagreeing about stuff.
Yeah, but you know, like Matt, you're a little more plugged in than most people, and you don't go and volunteer that. And like, if there's you know, the cool thing about it is if there's something I don't understand about, like the Hollywood game or from a movie critic standpoint, like you give some good perspective. That's for sure.
I'm in film licensing still.
Yeah.
You know, I was an actor for years. You know, been on many a set in many capacities. And so, yeah, I know a lot of the people that are making a lot of these movies these days. And, you know, now they can't say anything. But occasionally, like, they sort of inadvertently will say things. And I don't broadcast it wide because I think it's a violation of friendships and things like that. But it does give me a certain amount of perspective that I can't necessarily admit to, you know, as you said. So, but yeah, I think that I do have sort of an interesting sense of history and reputation in this space. And, you know, you mentioned Kevin, and after that scene with Nick Cage, I immediately texted him, and he was like, yeah, that was pretty cool, right? I was like, oh, dude, that was amazing. And the giant spider, you know, it's like, maybe even better.
That was awesome, dude. Because and I always go back to where Kevin Smith was telling the story. The
big mechanical spider that winds up in Wild Wild West. Yeah.
All right, hit it, Aaron. This is the 4K AI version of the Kennedy assassination.
I just see that it's a restored 4K version.
Yeah.
Okay.
Restored with AI.
Oh, does it say that?
Yeah, you have to read a lot of stuff. But that's how they did it. Okay, so what you're watching here is the original before it was cleaned. It's the 4K rendering, right? But
they also really boosted the hues in here. Like, there's a lot of saturation.
Now after the restoration.
Oh, they're able to slow it down too.
Mm-hmm.
See the texture on the clothing. It's an interesting use of an automated Gaussian blur, which when you build things from scratch digitally and you move camera, if you want it to look like it was actually shot on film, you put a blur release into it.
Okay.
There's things on TV that are in the settings for every TV you buy is set for sports, so it actually speeds up the process so that you don't get blur in a football game, which is why movies look terrible on new television sets. Everything looks like it was a soap opera that was shot in Canada. You kind of got to go back in and retool the darks. But
look at this.
Here it cleans it up. It's like really, oh my God, that's super clean. They still went with a pretty high saturation here, but whoa, holy cow. Whoa. I mean, you never actually saw the piece of skull travel across the back of the...
I'm telling you, bro. He was shot from the fucking front, bro. Bro, dude, the hairs on the back of your neck just stand up, man. That is sick. I solved the case, bro. I solved it.
Yeah, Brian's not going to let me host another show anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of extraordinary use of technology. You know, back in the day,
amazing
when we would,
though, man. Like,
when we would do restoration before, it was really more of a line doubling thing than necessarily intuitive. So, like, with all of these apparatuses coming in, and these are the same apparatuses that are used in video games, by the way, that make it really fast to be able to populate things, is that there's an intuition to motion. So if you're going to clean up like the dust or something that's in a film, as you used to do it on like a Da Vinci, and you do a certain amount of cleanup, you kind of got to go in and give it commands for each frame. Now you can do more than one frame at a time. Like you can kind of give it a look that it will apply to the entire process. So if you know where most of your damage is, you can kind of automate it on a first pass that then you can go back in and do more detail on. They went with a high saturation version of the film, which I think someone had done like a quote unquote remaster years ago, and they boosted everything to almost like Wizard of Oz levels of saturation, so that lawn is way greener than it would have been in real life. But it's still the clarity, and especially in the headshot, like that just looks like a bunch of grain in the original film. That's
when you slow it down, like, and you mess with it, Matt, bro.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Yeah, it's creepy. Like his head's cut in two, man. Like,
hey, I resemble that comment. But
hey, I picked this up before I go. I picked this up, X-Men #2.
I saw that. Yeah.
For
I saw you do the video.
$150, bro.
Wow.
He's already pressed it. He's like, screw my customers. I'm gonna press this before everyone else's. But you should do that for yourself anyways.
Yeah, but yeah, I had to.
Yeah,
It was like a homeless comic, and I brought it home with me, and I fed it, and I brought it back to life. So I would say before press, it like 3.5, 4. It's got a shot at a 5.5.
Wow.
Nice. Are you when are you gonna send it out for grading?
Probably next week.
Nice.
I
still have my Mark Jewelers first appearance of Iron Fist. I need to send out to you.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But I'll send Matt my address so you can send me one. Yeah. Just so you can see, and if I'll give you a taste, bro. See if you like
sure.
it.
Sure, yeah. I'm working on a stack of comics for you, like, because I don't really buy that much raw stuff, but there is a really great shop here in Vegas called Velvet Underground. He's got an amazing collection of stuff, but it's not super well organized, so you kind of got to be like,
those are the best shops. That's the best.
But I mean, you can't search for it yourself.
Oh,
Like,
you can't search it for yourself.
he has so much stuff that there's like an entire other room that's organized differently. And so he has to there have to be enough employees there for someone to go back and look for it for you. So like if you're in a hurry, it's going to be a terrible place. But he grades everything by Overstreet, and he's good at grading. Like if anything, he maybe hurts himself a little bit, so it makes it a decent shopping experience. But I've when I read the comments on his Yelp, it's kind of funny. Like I think he's proselytized at people who he doesn't consider to be real collectors on an occasion. I get a kick out of that. I think it's hilarious. But you know,
Ooh,
I wouldn't go with
this
a big
comment,
list.
Joe, before you leave. Pressing activities, glue and mark insert or Mark Jewelers inserts.
They do.
I mean, if you're not doing it right, I guess it could, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming he's sent to Mark Jewelers to someone that cooked his book for him or something like that. Is what
I don't activate any glue.
Yeah.
And this is why I send my books to Red Hood.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, I have people that send books to me that other pressers have fucked up.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that.
The CGC pressers can be brutal.
Yeah. And I've had some some people that press books on their own, like, and they, Joe, help me out, I fucked up. And I'll do a few of them, like, for free, or to bail them out if they give me a sob story or whatever, and I'm like, okay, what'd you do? And but I'm not, you gotta love it. I mean, you really, really gotta love it. Like, I look at a fucked up book and I'm like, oh man, because I want to see what I can do to, like, when I get a book and there's minor things or whatever, but when I get a book where it's falling apart and it's brittle, oh man, like, I know exactly what, like, I'm going to do to bring that book back to life and give it some more luster and eye appeal, because that, and I was talking to Wilbert was in the chat, it's like, if you've got a book and it's a 3, and it's got tears, but if you listed it on eBay, you're not going to sell it. But if you're able to improve and enhance the look of the book and give it better eye appeal, well, then you can sell it, and you may get a boost. It's maybe a 3.5 or a 4. Now I've done some crazy shit where I've taken I took a 6.0 Amazing Spider-Man 194 Black Cat and got it all the way to a 9.
It's got a lot of dark colors near the edge too.
Yeah,
so that's not an easy one.
But yeah, and spine rolls and all that. I was looking at some pressers prices on just to be curious on how cheap I am. But man, they're like charge $50 for a spine roll, and I'm like, that comes with it, like, I don't start separating like things.
A la carte pricing.
Man, dude. Like, yeah. And I get it, but like, I have clients. I don't have a like business. I don't have a website. I just take on some clients like I'm cutting their hair or something,
Yeah.
Oh, so Late Night News, or Late Night.
He's talking about Velvet Underground,
yeah. And then
him and Mac, yeah.
Joseph is saying old glue and inserts, you have to separate the cardstock so they don't stick.
I guess.
Yeah, Max and Steve Riddler's the guy that owns Velvet Underground. He named him. It's like, the Lost Back Room Riddler's a classic. Like, everybody that's in town knows this shop, and it's kind of like this unspoiled gem. But you have to be super patient. You have to be willing to go back again and again and again to like get through your list.
I would just say something. Put up that last comment about the insert.
Oh, the cardstock one?
Yeah. So like Joseph, like, so I get that, but like for me, like, I do like a million things differently than what the common people do as far as pressing, just on things that I've learned over the last 12, 13 years of pressing books. So
Proprietary technology.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had things built for me so that I can like get things where I need them to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're approaching the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and do a round of pickups if you have anything that you picked up recently that you want to show off, and then we'll call it a night from there.
Sure.
I showed pretty much everything that I picked up, and that was the main thing. I picked up a Silence of the Lambs mat, first edition. So I'm cleaning and pressing.
I saw that. I was like, I don't remember that being
jacket.
a comic
Oh
book.
my
Yeah,
god,
yeah.
dude! Like it was nasty. Wait till you see it. I'm trying to get that gloss back onto the cover, so like, and that reflectivity. So
Matt, I'll show off some cards if you want to take some time to grab something. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. So I opened. I knew Joe would be more interested in this, anyways. But I opened a hobby box of Series 2, and I also opened that Platinum box that you were on my IG live last night. So I just kind of want to go over like some of the hits, right? Francisco Alvarez, rookie. Josh Young. James Outman. Jordan Walker. Was that Corbin Carroll? Anthony Velope, rookie, right? Nate Eaton. The only reason why I top loaded this was because I also hit the gold version as well for 2019, right? And then Akil Badu with the Tigers. Rafael Ortega with the Yankees silver, or rainbow foil, right? Luis Servino with the Yankees silver foil. TJ Friedel with the Reds silver rainbow, whatever you want to call it. Willie Mays Legends of the Game. I love this insert that's in Series 2. Carson Kelly green out of 499. Elias Diaz. All right. And then out of the silver pack, I pulled a Adrian Beltre out of 50 gold, right? Yeah, out of 50, 11 on the print.
That's a nice card.
All right. Case hit. Heavy lumber, Carlos Correa. So I've only opened 2 blasters and 1 hobby box of Series 2, and then a jumbo pack from the boombox. And I was surprised to hit the case hit, like from just opening 1 box, right?
That's pretty cool.
To me, that was pretty crazy. And if you ever get a chance to touch one of these cards, it's really cool because it's actually made out of wood.
Oh wow!
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Is it made like from the baseball bat, like in the picture? Is it like that crazy?
I don't think it's that crazy. I don't think it's like a material used or something like that. But it's just like wood framed or something like that.
That's still pretty dope.
It's got that texture.
Yeah, it has a texture on it that, like, you can tell it feels like it's wood. It doesn't really say. If
That'll
it's like,
pick up some.
I don't think it's like a game use memorabilia. All right, so and then you were with me on the Instagram when I was opening the platinum
when I set
box.
myself on fire for you, bro.
Yeah, you set yourself on fire just so I could pull some heat.
That was crazy.
Yeah, and then Bryan talked me into it to buy a platinum box, or just buy like a original boombox and try it out. And I like the odds of like that you get from it, right? So out of the Series 2 jumbo pack, I pulled another Anthony Velope rookie. This is from the Archives pack, the King Griffey Jr., right? Another King Griffey Jr. right behind it. That was really cool. Legends of the Game, Nolan Ryan. The Simon Wan UFO card from Bowman's Best. I'm super stoked about this. The Ellie De La Cruz. Dustin Harris auto. And this was the best part, hitting 3 autographs out of this.
Wow.
Daryl Hernandez.
That's the one you posted, right?
The first. Yep.
Yeah.
And then I also pulled a Reiner Santana, a blue auto first, and this is numbered out of 150. So all these first cards are like the first time you see them in their professional uniform. And so when they get called up, there's a time period before they get an actual rookie stamped card. So and then I bought a slab earlier throughout the week, and I got it in yesterday. Bowman Sapphire PSA 10 Jeremy Pena rookie card. So I got it for less than $50, and I was like, kind of like, that's a no-brainer.
Mhm.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I don't have any comic stuff in yet, but I am sending out a lot of people to pick me up stuff from San Diego Comic-Con. But I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to wait for this shoot, because I plan to buy a pair of those Asics.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'll show you the while Matt's showing.
Well,
I'll show
if you already got the GI Joe, you know, you gotta get the X-Men.
Right, and then like I grew up on the X-Men. That was
Yeah.
like one of my favorite things. And then like I'm cool with 5 out of the 7 shoes.
And it's a mystery. You don't know what color shoes you're gonna get.
Yeah, so I mean, like I figured my odds are pretty good that I'll be satisfied with what I pull from that.
Yeah.
And then I mean, and hopefully my luck is on my side, because you know, 1 out of
Oh,
every
get out of
30
here, dude! You're one of the luckiest fuckers I know, dude. Shut up.
1 out of every 36 is the Wolverine shoe. So,
Oh man, yeah.
but there's two different styles of Wolverine, right?
Yeah,
Do they
so
have
like
the
the
all
yellow
yellow?
and the brown.
There's the yellow and the blue, and then there's also the yellow and the brown.
Yeah.
So the all yellow is kind of like the Bruce Lee Asics or Kill Bill, the Kill Bill ones.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna show off one thing. I don't pick up a lot of stuff these days anymore, but I did
mean, with
just get
OA
this
art,
back.
OA background like that. I mean,
Well, this is also original art. So this is
Okay.
this is a let me see here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So this is an illustrated cover. So I had Danny Shinyaluo do a tribute to her X-23 cover as the the original Wolverine suit version of X-23 as all new Wolverine. And I actually took the reference photo that she used to do the original cover.
Mhm.
So this is kind of like a little bit more personal, and I have these like temporary slabs that I use, and I got my own label that I make. You know,
Oh, okay.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. If,
Oh, it's even got a little pop sequentialism there.
that's pretty
Dude,
cool.
that looks badass, dude.
It's cool, right? Yeah. So the you kind of have to get like those elastic covers for these, because these can be reopened, which is kind of what's nice about them, and they can just preserve your comic, so you don't have to like send it off. And like I like the old grading system of near mint, whatever. And so, I graded appropriately. So I throw the NM on the top in the corner instead of, like a 90, 9294,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
That is cool, man.
Yeah. That took a year to get her to do, because her commission list is so tight. Like, she's generally doing fine art instead of comic stuff, but she's been working on a manga, which is, the page count on those is grueling. So that's been occupying most of her time. A lot of people that their lists were kind of open for a long time. Oh, look at that A6. The only A6 I've ever owned were wrestling shoes way back in the day, because that was like the only
fucking
thing they
Snake
made.
Eyes, dude.
So these are the Snake Eye ones. And so like
Is that Zartan on the bottom?
Yeah, so I think so.
Wow.
So yeah, so like if you get the other shoe, it has the other side to it as well, right?
That's
like,
badass.
Yeah, so I mean, like, and it's literally the same model of shoe. So to me,
Have
it's
you
like,
worn them?
Yeah, I wear these are actually
Oh
like
man,
what
not worth nothing now.
I mean, like I bought them to. So these were for a long time. I would only wear these shoes to conventions.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So, but I mean, they've been like my other shoes nowadays have worn out so much that I'm starting to wear them more often.
Yeah, I used to have like a mini Imelda Marcos sneaker collection. Like, it was almost all just Air Force Ones. Like, I had seriously like 60 pairs of sneakers that I would revolve and wear. Like, I was never a guy that like put them in cases. But
I have a couple of pairs where I've never worn before. But
I buy backups. I actually buy multiple pairs at the same time, because I know if I like them, I'm going to keep wearing them.
That's smart.
But I'm less into like the kind of like super expensive stuff. Like, I have a really nice pair of Jordans. I've got the low dunks, but the which is to me is more of a skating shoe. I don't know why they were ever marketed as a basketball shoe. And I got the colorway that was the hot colorway for a little while, that was red. But don't get me talking about socks. But
yeah, I know, right? I was about to say, like, I never wear same pairs, like the same style of socks every single day. Like,
I went all
Bombas.
I went all Bombas. Like, if you ever buy a pair of Bombas socks, you'll never wear anything else.
See,
And
Bomba?
they are not paying me to say this. Bombas.
I got
Bombas.
see. I got stuck on
B-O-B
stance socks or the ones
No
I
seam.
How do you spell it again?
Bombas. They are expensive ass socks, and but there's no seam. And actually, I walk a lot. Like I try and get my 10,000 steps in. But I actually wore through a pair of socks, and I just took a picture and sent it to them. And they sent me a new pair. They have a lifetime guarantee.
So Chad Cave, make sure if you're collecting jock straps that they're game used ones, and then they'll be like worth like way more money than you could ever imagine.
Worth their weight in odor.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine like how much Tom Brady's last game jock strap went for? So, anyways, on that note, we're at the 2-hour mark. I'm gonna play the outro, and we're gonna get out of here. I
gotta go anyway.
yeah. I figured we all have to go.
I'll send you my address, Pops.
Sure. And then I will be back. I will be back on Friday night to host with Stein for the Hot 10 on the House of Stein. Richie will be joining us, and I think Bryan will go in and out.
Possibly Red Hood.
Possibly, I have no idea. So I'm still going to leave it up to Stein to tell me what to do, but I'm helping with the graphics and everything for that. So
that's rad.
Thank you so much, Matt, for joining us.
Yeah, sorry I got the invite late, but
you came in at a perfect time because I was about to end the show at that point in time because I didn't want Joe just talking to himself while I was doing work.
Hey, I'll do that too, man.
Yeah. So and I kind of caught like some of the chat stuff like in between moments when I was watching Paint Dry. I was like kind of like, what the hell is going on in the show? But anyways, that's all right. We didn't have anything planned, so it was a lot of fun. Thank you everyone for watching, and then we'll catch you on Friday and Saturday.
Peace.
Take it easy.